Hey guys, this is Steli After with Close.io. Don't watch clicks, watch people. Right? What do I mean by that? As a startup, especially in the early days, you need to do things that don't scale. I know that all of us as entrepreneurs, when we start building our first, website or product, whatever it is, you get all excited about like all the scalable, really like kung fu black belt magical tactics that you think as a great entrepreneur you should be using to actually propel your business forward. So what do? You set up a website, you set up some kind of an online product or a SaaS application, and you think, hey, shit, we need to do A/B testing from day one to learn from the data on what people like or dislike or what performs better than other things. So you set up A/B testing, you set up your Google Analytics, you set up your funnels, you put in your Mixpanel code, you do a dashboard, customize, you put that fucking screen on the wall with like all kinds of analytics and metrics and numbers, and you lean back and you think, you know what? Now I'm going to watch my company grow. I'm going to watch my company learn. I'm going to study the data and figure out what works and what doesn't work. Dude, you have like 10 visitors a day. Like you have 10 visitors a day. You just got started. What the fuck are you talking about? What kind of A/B tests are you planning to do? What kind of metrics dashboard do you really need? This shit is like entrepreneur shit. Is like people doing busy work, people getting like falling in love with, virtual unicorns and like with work that seems like work and seems like it's meaningful and it's insightful and smart. And, it's kind of cool to show people, hey, this is our dashboard. Look at all these numbers. We set up our A/B tests. We have all our analytics down. All that stuff is like ego boosting, feels like a lot of work, feels like you're laying the foundation to be able to scale, but it's all just a bunch of bullshit. And here's why. It's even dangerous. Like, number one, when you just get started and you just have a few visitors a day, who gives a shit, what the metrics are? You have way too little. You have to actually go out in the real world and interact with real people. The other thing is it's actually dangerous. Like, you looking at your A/B test results based on like 30 people taking action, that's not statistically significant. You're gonna make decisions based on bad data. You're gonna take numbers that are not significant, not really relevant, that you can't just take and extrapolate into the future into getting meaningful insights from and make decisions and build your business around. It makes no sense. Here's what you should do instead. Go out in the real world, go into a coffee shop with your laptop, tap on somebody's shoulder and say, hey, sorry, dude, I'm an entrepreneur. I build a new website or a new product. Can I buy you your next freaking latte and have 5 minutes of your time for you to click around on my product and kind of let me watch you over your shoulder as you interact with my product and give me feedback on what you like and dislike. And actually, if your product is an end consumer product, actually watch people use your product. Watch them how they're trying to click things and realize the confused look in their faces, or watch them do something that seems unnatural or seems surprising. Ask them how they feel while they're using your application and get real user feedback versus, and watch real people versus actually watching numbers on the screen and trying to come up with some kind of a story on why 3 clicks went on the left versus 4 clicks on the right. Actually study people, watch them, observe them behave and interact in real life with your product just like they usually would. You can also go to people's work and office if you're a B2B product, and you have a bunch of users or trial users or hopefully maybe your first few customers. You want to sit next to the actual users and observe them use your product. You know what? Sometimes you'll watch somebody and they'll click around and their actions will actually seem totally fine, like their interaction with your app, just based on following the click path, seems totally fine. Seems like a user that knows what they're doing. But then when you actually look at their face, they have like this pain in their face while they're clicking. And at some point, that might give you a clue, and you might tell the person, hey, dude, relax. It seems like something is bothering you. It seems like something is not right about our app. How do you feel right now while you're using? What are your thoughts? And then the person might tell you, you know what? This is really complicated. Like I have to really think what to do next. This is really confusing. There's no metrics, no numbers could have ever told you how somebody felt while they were doing that. Now, I understand that metrics are important, numbers are important, obviously, and as you grow your business, as if you go from 10 visitors a day to 10,000 and 10 million people a day, yeah, sure, you can't just do user testing with every single user, but you want to use the power of those numbers and run really intricate tests and do all kinds of crazy shit at that point. But when you start out, go watch people interact with your product versus watching some numbers or clicks on a screen. It's going to do multiple things. It's going to actually, get you out of your bubble into the real world, interacting with real people and seeing contextually how they interact with your product, not just their clicks, but actually their hand movements, their hesitations, their body language, their voice, how they interact with your product in the ecosystem of other things that are going on their screen, right? Certain messages that are popping up, them looking constantly into their Facebook stream or Instagram or whatever. Like, you can just see the entire ecosystem of a real user, how they're really using your product, and get so many more clues, so much more data, right? Although it's not in numbers, in spreadsheets, it's actually in information density that you can observe and signals that you can pick up on as a founder, as an entrepreneur, that it's not even funny. Like, you're gonna make so many more and better decisions on more relevant data if you actually watch 10 people use your product versus tracking 10 visitors' behavior on your site. And the other thing is that it's not just true for people that are starting out. Once you're actually legit and you have lots of customers, lots of users, lots of traction and lots of movement and lots of interaction with your application or product or website, you still want to go out once in a while with frequency and observe people use your product. We've been visiting our customers lately, and it's been enlightening. And you know what? There's a difference between somebody getting onboarded with their first interaction with your application. That's a totally different universe of things to optimize and learn from. Somebody that just used your product for the very first time versus somebody that has used your product for the very first week versus somebody has been using your product for 12 months. The kind of workarounds that somebody will have after 12 months, the kind of things like little hacks and workarounds they used in the first few weeks that kind of grew and grew and grew, and eventually they're using your app in a completely unexpected an unrelated way. They're doing all kinds of things that seem crazy or weird or non-optimal to you. Once you watch heavy users after a long period of time, it's going to be another plethora of information and knowledge and data to learn from and be like, holy shit, this little tiny thing that seems totally all right on day one grows into this monster and monstrosity of shitty user experience after you've actually used the product for over a year. There's nothing that beats actually watching people in their natural habitat using your product. So if you are out there to building the most intense, most insane, most incredible metrics-driven dashboard analytics company, and everything you do, you want to look at numbers to make decisions, I applaud you. I think that that's awesome, and a lot of amazing companies are very data-driven today, and it's something you definitely need to master as an entrepreneur. But don't forget the people that really matter, the humans, right? The people that actually do the clicking versus just looking at the clicks. Actually watch people, not just clicks.